Hello, everyone. Welcome to the broadcast edition of my site, coreyhunt.wordpress.com, which is soon to be under a new domain. I got a lot on my mind right now. I've been trying to do some podcasting with my friend to express my views, but that hasn't been working due to some technical difficulties. Hopefully, that's going to change soon, and we'll be able to both be online and have these shows uploaded. But until then, I'm here on YouTube trying to get some of my points across. Right now, I'm north of the border. I'm not in TJ, where I've spent the last 6 months. I should be going back down there in a couple weeks. I'm in the Bay Area, which is a great place, despite some of its obvious failings. But what I'm really thinking about right now, and I was up late at night watching it, was the situation regarding Iraq. We President Obama has been talking about ending the war, and it's finally come to an end. It seems, at least in a ceremonial way. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of other issues to take care of there. Now what I'd like to get at, and a lot of Obama supporters keep saying this, is that they say that he somehow ended the war, but we need to keep in mind that President Bush, General Petraeus, and Prime Minister Maliki, they they had prepared for this before he even came into office. This is something that was signed into agreement that U.S. forces would be departing the country by December 31st, 2011. There was some expectations at the time that a new agreement would be negotiated, and the U.S. and Iraq would maintain strategic interest. That doesn't seem to be happening, at least on a very on a decent sized scale right now. Obama hasn't shown as much interest in that as Bush had, but we'll see what happens. Biden's been there, Obama's been there, Panetta's been there, his defense secretary, and it'll be interesting. But it's going to leave a legacy, and I've been going around on the blogs, I've been going on the news sites, reading the comment sections, and there's there's a lot of people, they look at this. It's so controversial, and even with me, it was in my on my mind for a long time. I remember being in high school when the Iraq War was at its worst, and there was so much violence and issues and problems taking place there, and it seemed hopeless. It didn't seem that there was any way that country was going to get back up on its feet, and the Iraqis would be able to take control, and it was on the news all the time, and I look at it now, and it seems like there's a lot more hope. Statistically speaking, when down in Tijuana and go out at night late at night to recharge my internet, it's more dangerous there than it is in Baghdad or Anbar province or even Mosul. And same thing with Ciudad Juarez or any of these other cities in Mexico that are experiencing substantial trouble. And I really wish people would take note of that, because I was reading an article in the New York Times this morning, and it was really pathetic. Just they were talking about how the U.S. is leaving a country that's still subject to devastating attacks by Al Qaeda, and where militants regularly target U.S. soldiers. And I'm thinking, why can't they just cover the more positive aspect? Let Iraq be in peace. It's over. The resistance, these people that are known as Al Qaeda in Iraq, the Ansar al Sunna, all these other groups, they lost. They didn't win. Their only strategy was to promote chaos among the population and terrorize the most innocent of all people, and they didn't win. They didn't succeed, and we need to take note of that. They lost, and Iraq, and regardless of what anyone thought about this in the beginning, when the U.S. first went in, was it legal? Did we have to do it? Was it a waste of money? It doesn't matter anymore. Can we just all come together and wish Iraq the best of luck for the future? That shouldn't be that hard to come to agreement on. And I hope that as Iraq moves forward without U.S. soldiers providing any support to the Iraqi security forces, I hope that people will look at Iraq and wish it the best of luck, no matter what happened. It'll be interesting to see what comes out of the next few years with this, because Iraq, they are, at least, well, aside from maybe Lebanon, are the only country that actually elect their government, and hopefully they're going to be able to keep doing this, and it's not going to revert back to the old days of Saddam where it was before. some other issues that are taking place is people are worried about Iran's influence, and this is interesting to me because I've spent a lot of time talking to both Iraqis and Iranians, and while yeah, Iran is certainly in a better position than it was back before 2003 when Saddam was in charge. I don't see that as very likely that Iran's going to come in and take over Iraq, just due to the extreme differences between the two countries. There's still a lot of bad blood between Iraqis and Iranians over the Iran-Iraq war, and despite the fact there's a lot of religious connections there, the majority in both countries are Shia Muslim. It seems unlikely as the rivalry can overshadow that. So that I don't know, but we'll see what happens. And yeah, it's just this is this is the time we should be celebrating. And just on the news right now, I was seeing that Christopher Hitchens, the atheist and author who's written quite extensively about Iraq, has passed away, and he was really he was interesting to me because when I first saw him, I didn't really agree with a lot of the stuff he said on the news, and he was on Fox, CNN, all these other, and I've seen him in a lot of debate performances. He was one of the few people left in 2006, 2007 who were still defending the operations in Iraq that the United States was taking part in, and he was one of the few who believed it could succeed. He supported the surge that took place in President Bush's surge in 2007, and Iraq was better off for it. And he's been reminding people of that, and I think it's good. I think he really took a good position that was very inspirational at a time when everyone had written Iraq off, and he still defended what was happening there. But he's passed away on the same, or just shortly after the operations have come to an end.